How do you remain a consistent top performer? Are there any habits or tips and tricks that you can share with our viewers?
I think, I mean, there's so you've got two scenarios, right? You've got the technical side of this, and you've got the kind of life coach side of this, right? So if you start with the life coach side of it, and this is something that my brother said to me. He was like, you just want to be a safe pair of hands. So, and this, I suppose this isn't really how to succeed in a sales role. This is how to succeed in any corporate role anywhere. You've just got to be looked at as a safe pair of hands. If you can come across as somebody that can be trusted to do a task, and the words that you say and the conversations you have and what you bring to the table actually provides value, it makes life a lot easier, because when you do have an idea or when you want to try and do something, there is that trust to allow you to be able to do that. So it works out really well. So that's probably the first kind of start, is that penny really clocked, and I was like, okay, first things I need to organize here is my personal brand. So I want to come across. And this is where, when I said to you, like, people always said to me, he's a good guy, he works hard, but he's not very polished. And when I kind of look back to pictures I look like then, and look, I've gone from, partying Friday, Saturday nights, pretty much every weekend, and turning into a bit of a ragtag generally, to now having a fairly strict skincare regime and exercising as many times a week as I can. Right. So I'm, but I think you want to present yourself well. You want to look like you have made an effort to come in and be there wherever you're being, whatever capacity it is, I think is a huge one. So building that personal brand out, I think, has been super, super important. Laying down relationships and foundations. Like, this is something I learned in recruitment. It's anyone you're talking to when you're working in the same industry as them, you don't know where they're going to be in 5 years' time. So any relationship you make could be super beneficial. And one thing I've always, and this might just be because I'm a massive people pleaser, and I get social anxiety when people don't like me. But having the thought of coming away from a conversation and them going, like, oh, he's a bit of a knob, or I probably won't talk to him again. I want to make sure that if I'm meeting a new person for the first time, especially in a work-related scenario, they come away and they go, I want to talk to him again, or at a minimum, he's not a knob. Do you know what I mean? And I think that helps massively. And then studying, right? At the end of the day, if you're selling software and if you're selling tech, you're solving a problem. If you're selling the tech to people that are not technical, you need to be able to answer their questions in a way that they can understand. And the easiest way to do that is understanding the product you're selling. If you're running a demo and they're asking you questions and you're just saying, no, we can't do that, or I don't know, I'm going to come back to you, fair play, 100%. But if you can answer it or provide a workaround there and then on the call, again, it just applies more confidence into the conversation. And it kind of, they're like, okay, cool, that was a good first experience, especially on the SDR side of things. You're probably not going to go into that technical side of the conversation. So at a minimum, you want to be understanding the kind of problems that this organization or this person you're talking to is going to be achieving, and how your product solve those problems generally. Not just that you've got the best product and it's great. No one cares. Everyone's product is the best product and it's great. It's, how is this going to solve my problem? That's what you're experiencing. This part of this product is how it's going to fix that issue you're having. Does that make sense?
Does indeed, mate. No, wise words. I think you're spot on there, guys. If you are listening, I think that you've laid that out in great stages in terms of how someone can come in, because we've got SDRs that are very junior into a role, and they won't really know what they're doing. We know what it's like when you're like 17, 18, 19 years old, joining a company for the first time, or even post uni. You need some structure. And what you've outlined there fundamentally is good structure. Yes, be self-aware as well, right? But if we can lay some strong foundations and get into some habits, the only thing I'd probably add to that caveat is or just add to it really, is that structure always helped me out. I always felt when I was coming in and just winging it,
Yeah.
I was never as productive. I used to like to win the first hour of the day, right? As cliche as it sounds. And I used to win it by prepping the night before. So I'd have a list. You know what I'm like? I'm so old school. I still have a pen and paper and pad, right? So I'd write down the list of all the people that I'm going to call the next day. But I'll do that the night before.
Yeah.
And that extra bit of prep means I can come in and I don't have to do that first up. It's already ready for me. And
Yeah.
just getting in, just regimented, same time every day, and just kind of, right, here's my routine. I'm not saying don't be flexible, but I think structure is a really good thing, and prepping the night before for the day ahead
Mate,
means you just
100%.
you're probably 95% ahead of everyone else who hasn't bothered doing it, right?
Definitely. And do you know what I think so I work slightly different because so one good, like, one thing I've always noticed about you is you're very good with discipline. So you can set your day as to how you want your day structured. As if you come in, you'll say, right, I'll gym in the morning. I'm going to come in, I'm going to make these phone calls at 10 o'clock. This is this task at 20. So you'll create yourself like a timetable throughout the day that you know. I can't operate like that, right? So but the same thing, I still want to achieve the same things. So rather than saying, okay, for this time period, this is what I'm going to be doing, it would be, okay, well, I need to achieve, for me to walk away and have a successful day, I need to have, set up X amount of demos or spoken to people. And you kind of work back. So if you're selling SaaS, your goal from that conversation is to book that demo, right? That's the main the thing that you want. But you're smashing the phone. What's 3 in 100 calls? You're going to get that golden where it's like, yeah, sick. Let's sort out a demo now, right? So then you kind of work your way back. Did I speak to the right person? Am I building out a company profile? Blah, blah, blah. And and as long as you're getting those wins throughout the day and you started with that kind of initial plan of what you wanted to achieve, it does help you just kind of work. It's what they say, doesn't it? It does sound cringy, but the working smarter, not harder type scenario, otherwise you're just running around like a busy idiot, basically.
Yep. Well said, mate. Guys, if you enjoyed that, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to see the full podcast, click right here.